Hello and welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. It's been hard to pin Mario Melchiot down today. He's here with us, been trying to dodge our questions all show on ESPN FC. Yes, he knows it as well. Here too. Let me see if I've got the cues in my email, and if not, I'll read them off the screen.
I need some water. I'm thirsty.
All right. Oh, yes, we do. Here we go. Thank you, Jack. Okay, guys. Do you agree with yesterday's squad, besides Ale, that Barca isn't in the top 3 favourites to win the Champions League?
Hey?
Yeah, I heard that.
Who said that?
Ian said Inter, Arsenal and PSG.
Yeah.
Hey?
Surely Barcelona are top favourites.
Of course they are.
Barca and PSG are my 2 favourites.
Yeah.
Barca and PSG are my 2 favourites.
Craig's not saying Barcelona either.
Why? What was his reason?
Inter. Craig had Inter all season long.
Love that everybody loves Inter.
Yeah. No, Craig. To be fair, Craig had Inter all season long. So I'll give it, and he'll remind
so he's
you.
just been stubborn.
He'll remind you of that. He'll remind you of that fact.
But you can say, look, I'm sticking with Inter. I think Inter will win it. But
a normal person can say that.
Fair enough.
Yes,
Yeah, he's not.
Oh my.
You have to establish.
Yeah, he's not
You
Craig.
have to establish that.
Okay, who's your top 3?
Barca, PSG, Inter.
Do you agree with
Agreed.
that?
Yeah.
Mario, you have to answer the question.
Barca and PSG is a draw for me. I've got them neck and neck.
Okay, I will
And
answer
then
the question.
third.
Top 3 to win the Champions League.
The top 3. PSG is just so talented. Barca, I already said, that's definitely clear. And then the third one, I know the guys are calling Inter. Yeah, Inter maybe because of I think Inter is just pure business. They don't care. It doesn't have to be cute. Just win the tournament. So if Inter goes in it, and I like a surprise of Arsenal, of what they did. I don't mind if they surprise me and come up with some magic. But they did make me happy when I saw those 2 goals flying in, regardless if I don't support them. But I think it was great to watch.
How we asked for the top 3 and Mario mentioned 14s. Right.
No, I said. No, wait. I said.
You put 2 in one spot.
I like
Yes,
it.
but I called 3. But I went with 3.
I said 3, and I said I don't mind a surprise of Arsenal. That's what I said. I said the top 3, and I said I don't mind a surprise. Why are you attacking me? I didn't do anything wrong.
So is Arsenal in the top 3 or no? Is Arsenal in the top 3?
No.
All right, okay.
Inter,
I stand
PSG,
corrected. I stand corrected.
and Barcelona.
I stand corrected.
Does Mbappé make his teammates worse?
Oh, boy.
Neymar, Messi, Di Maria, Dembele, Vinny, Bellingham, Rodrigo. I feel like throughout the years his teammates need to step down so he can shine, unlike some of these names who made the ones around them improve.
Oh, boy.
It's difficult to argue, isn't it?
See, no, it is tough because I really like Kylian Mbappé. I really do. But the same conversations we're having about Real Madrid right now, we were having about PSG last season. Same conversations we're having about PSG right now, we were having about Real Madrid last season. About how complete they are as a team, how good they look, and punch above their... all the glowing attributes you had about Real Madrid last season, we now have about PSG, about how balanced this team is, how they're working for the manager. And then, similarly, talking about Real Madrid and some of their parts, incredible talent, but just not playing well. Sounds really familiar. Sounds really familiar in France. And unfortunately, the one common thread through it.
Common denominator.
It was Kylian Mbappé. And now, to PSG's failings, PSG was a little bit of a circus, with or without Kylian Mbappé, right? And I think that goes to the ownership. But certainly over the last 12 months, he was the last remaining big star. They failed. Now, look at how much. And in talking about that, you remember last year when Luis Enrique, they had this clip of Luis Enrique sitting down with Kylian Mbappé in the video room talking about what he needs him to do. And as soon as he finished, Mbappé just walked out. Now we're having these conversations, and again, I really love Kylian Mbappé, but I just couldn't help but think about that. about how quickly he just got up and left, almost dismissing what Luis Enrique had to say. And now look at how PSG have become a team in his absence under the same manager. You know, I just couldn't help but think about that as the stories kind of unfolded over the last 2 days.
Yep. What do you think, Mario?
No, I think, look, Real Madrid always been a team that has so many stars. And they always had to work to make this, you know, they work, as hard as they work to get the star in, they also have to work hard to make it work. And it's not the first time it happens, you know, when they go up and down. You just have to figure it out now, because I think you got all those players in there. And I don't think Mbappé is there and he's not hungry to succeed, because that will be the worst part. So then I will be like, yeah, I'll definitely be, yeah, oh, he's making his team worse. No, but he's still hungry, he works hard, he wants to score goals. The only thing is the system that they play, it's a difficulty. I think Ancelotti is in the situation because I love him as a coach. But to always satisfy your stars is very, very difficult, guys. I think we talk about it, but it's a club. They want the stars. Everybody has to play, you know, like, you know, if you play Fini left, people talk about Mbappé should play there and this and that. I think you got to look, and because I don't think he has the influence to make sure that, hey, guys, we're going to do a bad thing. No, I don't think he has that. I don't think people are going too far for that yet. They got to make it work.
Lads, which of these fallen Premier League stars have the best chance of a comeback? Grealish, Sancho or Núñez?
Oh, boy. Grealish. That's all I got. I can't tell you why.
I'll go Núñez.
Yeah,
I'll go Núñez.
Can you tell us why, Stevie?
Well, Jadon Sancho just, I'm sorry, it doesn't work for me. Of the three players that you're talking about here, Sancho's the one guy who's actually on the field right now, who's been starting, and he hasn't done anything. He's going to be going back to Man United at the end of the season, and he ain't going to be playing for Man United, so he doesn't have a comeback, basically. I would go with Núñez. I think, you know, Núñez is. There's too much pressure on him at Liverpool now. He's seen as the guy who's the nearly man. I don't see that tag changing. But when he goes somewhere else, which he will, he'll score goals. Yeah. So that's why I'm going Núñez. I'll go Grealish second, and Sancho. Yeah, I don't see where Sancho ends up.
I'll tell you why I go Grealish, because Grealish has been good in the Premier League. At least we know he can be good in the Premier League. Sancho is good for Dortmund, not in the Premier League. Darwin Núñez has not been good in the Premier League either. So Grealish for me.
Okay. All right. Let me move on to the next question.
Mario said all three.
Yeah.
Mario
said all of the above.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jack Sancho Núñez, he said. Yeah. Jack Sancho Núñez.
Shaka, if Newcastle reach the top 5 and qualify for the Champions League, what should they do differently for next season so that they don't repeat what happened in the 23-24 campaign?
I think the squad is bigger and certainly better prepared for what that first foray into the Champions League is a tough ask, and probably puts what Aston Villa has done into better perspective. Aston Villa in the quarterfinals. I take nothing away from the run that they've had so far, but I think that new experience, how you balance the highs of a big Champions League night and beating PSG at home, and then how you come back down to the bread and butter of the league the following weekend. They've shown that they can do it. They win the cup final against Liverpool, and in the next game, they beat, I think it was Brentford at St. James's Park. That kind of high and then back down to take care of business, that's learned. And I think Newcastle learned that last season. They've shown that they can do that, again, with that example, and we'll be better for it come next season.
Definitely huge that Eddie Howe has been through it once.
Yeah.
So now he knows exactly what to expect. And and as good as Villa have been in Europe, guess what? Their manager has been there, done it,
Oh, yeah.
over and over and over, Unai Emery in Europe. So I guess that's probably the reason why they're doing so well.
Speaking of Europe, let's get Mario to actually answer this.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Who's your favourite to win the Europa League, Mario?
That's a big question to ask me there. Whew. You know who I want to win? You know who I wanted to win? Yeah, I want Chelsea to win, of course, but...
No, the Europa League. The Europa League.
Oh, no,
You've got to be in it to win it, Mario.
Oh, Europa! Oh, they're in the Conference League. Okay, Conference League. Okay, now you go Europa League with me. You know what? This is the perfect moment, okay, for me to not say anything.
What?
Again.
Oh my! Oh boy!
Can we offer up an Eintracht Frankfurt
Stevie.
for you?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Go with Rangers. Glasgow Rangers.
Rangers, Spurs,
No,
Manchester
man,
United.
come on, Stevie. Come on, I like everybody.
Athletic
you know,
Club.
No, okay, then you know what?
Athletic
I go for.
Club.
No, I go for Frankfurt.
Okay. Sounds so convincing.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could really tell us why.
Athletic Club.
Because the final's at home.
Well, the final's at home and they're as good as anybody else that's in this tournament.
Okay.
You don't want to play against... You certainly don't want anything to do with the Williams brothers,
No.
do you? No, thank you.
No.
So, yeah, I'll go with them.
Shaka?
Has his draw been made all the way to the final? As in, you know which two sides of the bracket as you do in the Champions League?
Yeah, it has, isn't it?
Without knowing it, if you were to just say it now, what would you go with?
Yeah.
Athletic Club.
Okay.
I'm a little bit torn between them and yeah, Athletic Club. Go ahead.
Given Manchester United's struggles in recent seasons, do players find it easier to play away from home? And is having the second leg against Lyon at home an advantage or a disadvantage? This came up in the show, didn't it?
It did.
No, I know people say that, and that United have had the struggles at home, but it's never easier to play away from home. It's just not. It's just not. So I would say no. It's not easier to play.
I think at times it is easier to play away from home. When you're not playing well and the crowd are on your back.
Depends who if you're playing against against the under 16 boys from down the road, then yeah.
No, I get it, because for me, travelling fans are always, in my opinion, are more accepting, right? So they're not just there to give you a hard time. I mean, nobody gets on a bus for 4 hours just to shout abuse.
Take away the bottom three. You don't want to. You wouldn't rather play away from home.
Right. No, but saying that, Manchester United have a way, especially in games that they need a result, that they're not too bad at home. You know, Manchester City, and while that game was absolutely dour, it's still a Manchester derby. There's still, or you hope, some level of pride there, and they managed to get a result. You know, they managed to get a result. I'm not sure how many people expected it, but you managed to get a result. And I think Manchester United just found a way of doing that. And in Europa League, as we keep saying, all their eggs are in this basket. And then at home, I think that it's better to be at home in the second leg in this competition, where the fans are expecting a performance result.
You're laughing at.
How did you get
there? Mario.
So is that a yes? Is that
I said yes. They prefer to be at home. I think you're happy to be playing at home in
but
this
that's what
round.
I said.
No, you said you don't ever prefer to be
Away from home.
And all I said is there are.
started off
No,
by
all I
disagreeing.
said is there are times.
You started
Oh
off
my
disagreeing with me.
Well, all I said was.
And then the last thing you said was,
you know, you.
Man United will win because they played at
You
home.
both should try
No,
what
all
I'm
I
doing.
said was. All I said
Try
was.
what I'm doing.
I'll use an example. I've played in teams where you prefer to be away. When you're not playing well, when the crowd are on your back, and this Manchester United crowd hasn't been on their back in the more important games this season.
Okay. This altercation has gone to VAR. While they decide, which will probably take about 15 minutes. Last question is for you, Mario. Should Højlund be sold this summer?
Oh boy. The who?
Oh.
The who? Who's buying it?
That's one thing, you know. But should he be sold? I think if you want to look worse as a team, you sell him. Because why? Because then it means that you didn't make a good judgment in getting a player. So I think
experts at that, aren't they? United.
Right.
I wouldn't sell him. Because what comes in needs to battle with him, but needs to make him, because he's not at that age that you can say like, okay, get rid of him because he's too old. No, I think, but get a player that is, you understand, a total different player than Højlund, because Højlund, he fights and this and no, you need the scrutiny in the sense of like someone that just focus on scoring goals, and then Højlund can see stuff like that and say like, hey, it's not about fighting your opponent all the time. It's just about putting the ball in the back of the net.
When last has serious question. When last has Manchester United bought a player and everybody thought, yeah, that's good, that's a good sign, and it worked out that way? They paid how much they paid for Højlund? Was it like 70?
70.
So to the question, who's going to buy Højlund? Who's going to buy Jadon Sancho? Well, Betis may come in for Anthony given his performances, but you paid 100 for him. You're not going to get that from Betis.
Aye.
You know, I mean, and you can go through the entire list. Mazraoui, has he been the best of the recent signings? And is that really, has he been that good to say, well, okay? There's just genuinely, there's just been nobody that you say, yeah, that was money really well spent.
Van Nistelrooy.
Let's end it there.
Van Persie.
Van Nistelrooy go way back then. All right, that's all we've got time for on the latest edition of ESPN FC. Thank you so much for sending in your questions for Extra Time. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again.